Well, this 86, the Giro de Lombardia, is going to be remembered for the atrocious weather here. It's also bitterly cold, as you can see. Vyacheslav Yekimov on the Panasonic team moving through in this line. Again, it's been a war of attrition today. This is the remnants of the front of the race. And it's all that's left, really. They're absolutely soaking wet, and I think they need a big morale now to keep the pace going very, very strongly indeed. A lot of riders have dropped out so far. And the Italians are very much still in the action here. And just take a look at some of the images as they pass before the camera. Franz Massen there, not looking at all happy with the way he's going, but he's pedaling pretty quickly. And they're trying to get this small group is staying compact, but they're clear of the rest of the field. Yekimov doing a lot of the work in this lead group. A lot of surface water as well, making the descents very, very treacherous. Gianni Bugno's in this group too. And the Gatorade team are looking for him to deliver the goods. You've got Raul Alcala up here, Cassani, Sorensen, Hamburger, Bo Hamburger, the new young pro, David Revlin, another young pro, Stephen Hodges here. Helvetia rider beat Zeeberg, here he is. And now on the last climb, they're trying to do something about splitting this field up. Tony Rominger is in this group. Viet Zeeberg sets the pace. Probably the safest place to be right now, I would think, the way this rain is coming down. Further up the climb, the Gatorade boys are trying to split this field up. But there's a chase group behind, and in fact it covers most of the star names, and I don't think they're going to get back. Even Stephen Roach is trapped in that back group as well. And this looks like Claudio Chiappucci is having a go. And Chiappucci's going for gold on his own here. He looks as though he's dressed for a training ride, quite frankly, but he's going. Now, what's he done? He just loves the Tour of Lombardy, Chiappucci, and now he's trying to get a result. Well, the winner last year, Sean Kelly, is way down. Now a second counter group. This is coming away. This looks like David Cassani, the little rider there. And that indeed is Cassani, and Tony Rominger going forward with him. So they're trying to bridge the gap to the two leaders at a very, very crucial stage of the race. And Raul Alcala has noted the attack, and he's come forward from that group as well. So a good move by the Mexican PDM rider. And in fact, Chiappucci is now taking a look over his shoulder, and there's a group forming at the front. And this is it now. Chiappucci at the back, handing in his gloves or his cape or something there, was Tony Rominger. Cassani is number 41, and he looks as though he's dressed for a summer race, not for the freezing conditions of today. And the other rider is Raul Alcala. So these four riders on the last climb of the day. And in typical fashion, Claudio Chiappucci sets the pace. Rominger will feel very contented with that. Rominger is a classics rider, there's no doubt. Raul Alcala, the first and only Mexican to win a stage of the Tour de France. And they're settling into a nice little four-man breakaway here. They're not that far ahead yet, though. Just trying to get a glimpse there of the face of Rominger to see if it tells us anything, but certainly Chiappucci is fired. And judging by all of the cars now behind, the gap has gone up to over 2 minutes on the rest of the race. So they're well clear. We're going to see the 86 Giro de Lombardia decided by one of these four riders, and Chiappucci. Rominger has consistently followed the wheel of Chiappucci. And Cassani in need of a good win, always around. So we're about 5 kilometres from the finish here. And Tony Rominger, a pro since 1986, lives a fine life in Monaco. As Cassani grabs a bottle. And he's had a great season, 2nd in Paris-Nice, 5th in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, Tour of Spain, which he won, and 4th in the World Championships. You can't complain about those performances this year. He really is the man on form. And this is the chase to try and get Bugno back into the action, led by Gatorade, but I don't in fact see Bugno in the group at all. And they're a long way behind. And just look at these conditions now as we come up towards the finish. They really are the worst we've seen. Our cameras can't show you much else, I'm afraid. They'll take the cars off and then we're going to see the sprint out. And it's a long time since I recall weather like this in the Tour of Lombardy, but it couldn't be much worse. And Claudio Chiappucci won that dramatic stage in the Tour de France de Sestria this summer and finished 2nd in both the Tour de France and Tour of Italy in that breakaway with Rominger. And somewhere in those lights there's only one rider. Look, there's only one rider here, and it looks like Tony Rominger. Rominger has gone away on his own. Tony Rominger has slipped them and he's going to win, and he'll be the first Swiss rider ever to win the Tour of Lombardy for a 2nd time, I hasten to add, but he's still the only one. He also won it back in 1989. Just a little look over the shoulder like all professionals do to make sure, and then salute the crowd, and what a day to win under. My goodness me. So Tony Rominger is going to be first over the line. There's no sign of anybody behind. And Rominger salutes the crowd, and he'll remember this victory today, and he'll remember what a great season he's had as well. Winner of the Tour of Spain for the first time. And this looks like the lone figure of Claudio Chiappucci, so the men have had the great seasons get 1st and 2nd. Chiappucci coming up to the line now. His life seems to be full of 2nd places. 2nd in the Tour of Italy, 2nd in the Tour de France, now 2nd in the Tour of Lombardy. So he comes home in 2nd place, and it's the clock counting down, coming up towards 40 seconds on the line. As he crosses the line. And so Claudio Chiappucci outwitted by a Swiss rider in the closing kilometres of the race, and in dreadful conditions as well. It's hard to tell when he's happy, Claudio, but this is what beat him. Tony Rominger getting his 2nd win in the Tour of Lombardy, establishing himself as a great classic rider. And you see the lights down in the distance. Well, that in fact was Claudio Chiappucci coming in, who had been dropped in the closing kilometres. And a smile and a cough as well for Tony Rominger as he prepares to lift this rather large trophy at the end of a long cold day in the Tour of Lombardy. But he gets his victory by 41 seconds ahead of Claudio Chiappucci. David Cassani got an excellent 3rd place. 4th Raul Alcala, but over 5 minutes back in the end, Sorensen, Zeeberg, Boltz and Hamburger. And Andy Hampson of the United States finished in 16th place in that group, around 7 minutes and 56 seconds back. So from a wet and cold Giro de Lombardia, I'm Phil Liggett saying goodbye.